was a beautiful spring day, a Sunday, I believe, and it was sunny and bright out, and the mountain had exploded. My girlfriend at the time, now my wife, and we drove up onto Green Mountain, and what I remember about it was the incredible amount of material that was just coming out of the volcano. It was one of those things like you see pictures of the Grand Canyon, but you don't really appreciate it until you actually go there and see the vastness of it. Well, that was the same sort of thing.
Well, I was on a postdoctoral research fellowship with the New Zealand Forest Service. I honestly don't remember how aware I was prior to the eruption because being so far away, I probably didn't know too much about it. Maybe a few little news reports that there was some activity starting, but I certainly didn't know the details of what it was.
I had just graduated from the Sheriff's Reserve Academy a few days before then, and I really didn't think of myself as an emergency responder, but when I got back home, the phone was ringing, and it was the sheriff's office, and they said, yeah, we need you to come in. They were calling all the reserve deputies in, even the brand new ones. There were people who were killed, there was people who were missing, there was houses destroyed, there was evacuations. You can imagine it was pretty disruptive, and so we assisted, our agency assisted the outside agencies that were primarily affected, Cowlitz and Skamania County. And
I came back in the summer of 1980 to attend a wedding. I borrowed a car, drove down to Mount St. Helens, was totally awed by what I saw there, what had happened in the Toutle River Valley. I didn't get up to the mountain itself because very few roads were open very far up there, and the debris avalanche and the lahars had taken out a lot of the roads. So I was able to drive partway up into the Toutle River Valley, and I think I got as far about as the town of Toutle and got out to the bridge there and could see all the destruction where the lahar had come through and taken out the Coal Bank Bridge just by the town of Toutle there. And yeah, what I could see was, huge Douglas fir trees lining the river that were encased in mud up to about 20 feet above the ground surface, and then mud filling the valley and up on the terraces, forming this flat, hard surface that looked like concrete.
And then when the mountain kind of calmed back down and things got back to somewhat normal, then they kind of reined us back in, and we weren't allowed to just jump in patrol cars and head out any longer, and went through our regular training schedule to get trained on the job.
The big eruption in 1980, of course, totally changed the landscape, and it has been fascinating to see that return. Faster, I think, than a lot of people expected. Well, Mount St. Helens was a total game changer for the USGS as an institution, but also for the whole science of volcanology. This was really the first big eruption in the world that had been monitored closely by accurate scientific instruments of various kinds. And so, for one thing, we learned a huge amount about what's involved in the buildup of an eruption, or to an eruption. And we got to see some of the ironic sort of aspects of it, that volcanoes don't always do what you think they're going to do, and they don't always give you a clear indication of what they're going to do.